first half to lift the Dukes to a 1-0 upset of top-ranked defending NCAA men's soccer champion North Carolina. The James Madison Dukes win their first CAA softball championship.
Pandemonium here in Richmond. Headed back to the big dance. One day, as they will find out.
I'm serious. Please go look that way. Because he makes me laugh. I can't take him serious.
So just to get it started off, what's it like being part of a college team, and is it any different from any of the other teams that you've played before?
Yes, absolutely. There's a difference from the past where maybe academics wasn't a focus. But now you come into college, it's important that your grades are just as good as your performances on the pitch. There's more of a family-like culture here in college than in the past. That's something that I love about college. That's something I haven't been introduced to back in the past. I played in the past in the DC United Academy, which played in the Development Academy, I believe it's called, the DA. And yeah.
And then just for every season that you have to go through, so especially since it's being your third year here, how do you get prepared for each season, whether or not how you get prepared physically or how you get prepared mentally?
I think it depends on the semester, right? If you go into the fall, mentally it takes more of you have to take more mental preparation, really, as opposed to maybe the spring where you're playing more exhibition matches. There's less stress, less pressure to an extent. There's more of a mental focus for that, but the physical is where things take a rush in the spring with more weight room and more running, which is necessary to improve your fitness before the spring, and use the spring to do that to make sure you're ready for the fall.
And then what is being a student athlete? You talked about it earlier, mentioning your grades. How difficult is it to balance that academic and also athletic side of being in college?
I think it's challenging. It's something that I've had to learn to do at a higher level. Time management is essential in these cases. Using the mental resources that we have with Dr. Bob, which I've used, starting to use this semester.
I mean, I've talked to a lot of different players in the past that, have been struggling, but it's not always that. If they're doing well and they want to celebrate something, then the office is always open, and I encourage them to come in. Sometimes, as the head coach, it's not always the easiest conversations, but I think they have a great relationship with our assistant coaches, and I think I try to joke with them and they joke with me, and that's where you build that rapport, so that trust is there if there ever is something that they really need to discuss. But we rely, a good amount on our resources and our support staff as well. And Dr. Bob is an example of an excellent person within the system that has done a fantastic job for us and our players.
So what is it like being a soccer player here at JMU, being in a college, being with other college students? How does that really work here at a school like this?
I would say it's definitely a unique environment. You're in a school of 26,000 kids with 1,000+ athletes. I mean, it's something that you're unique with. You meet a bunch of new people, that come from different backgrounds. You're playing with kids from different countries. And I mean, I think it's something that prepares you very well for life after college, because you're constantly working in high stress environments where you got to get a lot done and be very well with your time management. So, I mean, it's definitely something that I would say is very good for someone.
I think that's a good question towards the end. If we don't use those resources, it affects your play. It goes hand in hand. And if something that I didn't do in the past was use those resources, and I noticed that maybe it affected my performances in the beginning to an extent. But once we have great resources, especially on the mental side with Dr. Bob, but it takes a lot of courage to to reach out and to the coaches, to the staff that we have. Staying on top of that, it's difficult, very difficult. Time management is essential. But
Athletes about using those resources and people who don't, and kind of how that correlates to how you play on the field.
I mean, it definitely correlates. I know people who use Dr. Bob as one of their main resources to make sure that they're staying in the right mindset when they're playing, and it shows on the field that they stay confident when they play and they are continuously climbing in their way that they are performing on the field. And I mean, it's not to say that the people who don't use those resources aren't climbing, but you can definitely tell people who use the resources benefit from them.
Can you kind of put me through like a normal day for you, starting from like the morning to the afternoons? I'll start with a Wednesday. I'll do a day on the field and a day off the field. So like a Tuesday, or a Monday, for example, I have class. We wake up, we have conditioning at 7 a.m. We have conditioning usually from 7 to 8, and then we get back. We have a fuel station at Godwin where we're able to pick up some snacks to make sure our bodies are in good positions for the rest of the day. And then I have class around 9:35 to 10:50, and then that 10:50 to 11:20 time, I usually grab a snack or something, and I have class from 11:30 to 12:20. And then after that, I have an individual studies class from 1 to 4. So, and then on an off day, I usually have those same class schedules, as well as we have optional lifts, making sure we're getting our nutrition in. But every other day, we train twice a day, and just making sure our bodies stay on top is important. Was there anything when you were playing that was like, okay, this is how I should get stuff done, this is how it's going to be easier for me, that you told players to kind of just how they get themselves in a rhythm?
I think one of the things that is I use to share with my guys is that it happens very quickly. You're in as a freshman and out as a senior, and it goes by like that. So I try to really have them understand that every day you got to go after it, and because before you know it, you're going to be off into the real world with a job or possibly playing at the next level, and take advantage of every opportunity that you have here in a great environment, great school, and just enjoy it. Something that we want to instill in everybody. It's not that everybody's going to have an amazing experience every single day that they're here, but when they look back as an alumni, we want them to feel proud and about the wins and even some of the losses, but just sharing that moment together. And what we instill in our guys is that don't take any day for granted. Just come out and work as hard as you possibly can, and good things in your life will generally happen. And so we preach a lot of hard work, and we have a certain way that we like to train and play that is a little bit more X's and O's. But in terms of the mindset, it's go out and earn everything within the program.
And now you're coach. Do you guys have a network between other JMU coaches to just kind of talk about the everyday stuff and kind of like how you're training or how you're doing things with certain players?
Absolutely. I think the JMU coaching circle is a very tight knit one, and I think that we have some great coaches, and the success is evident all around athletics. So we rely on each other. We talk about our programs, we talk about what works and what doesn't. And we really just kind of go back and forth with a lot of different coaches on staff. So it's great to have that support system as well. We hang out sometimes with our families on the weekends, and it's just a great place to be in terms of the coaching environment.
What do you tell players when they're coming here to JMU to expect?
I mean, we hope that we've built a camaraderie, a family-like atmosphere, where a brotherhood, where they feel connected to their teammates.
When you come into the school with 30 brothers, being on the team, you have 30 guys you can trust, you can hang out with whenever you need. So that's something I've always been thankful for, and something I'll always be thankful for after school as well.